Good morning, my lovely Year 6s, and happy Wednesday! By now you should know the drill of set yourself a time limit or choose which items you think will help you most with your learning, crack on with those, and then have a break. So let's see what we've got for today. So today you have got some more questions on Tom's Midnight Garden. I hope you're all enjoying that book. Mrs. Perry is looking at some problem solving tactics with you. I would be looking at present tense, looking at simple, progressive and perfect present tense. If you want to revise that, that would be a nice little section for you. And English is our continued activity for this week, which is a free choice writing project. So I have attached all the bits that you've had in the last two videos about that free writing project, because it doesn't change this week. So if you haven't started yet and you would like to, all the information is on this video to save you jumping around. If you've already started it and you're cracking on with it, good for you. I cannot wait to read them.
Hello Year 6. Hope you're well and still enjoying Tom's Midnight Garden. Today you will need to read chapter 15 and 16 and then you're going to answer some questions. Here are the questions for the chapters you have read today. Good luck with those. And here are the answers to your work today. You can see how you got on with those. And now we're going to have... So for your skills practice today, you're going to try these 10 questions. There's a selection of lots of different things on here for you to try. The only thing you may not have done a lot of or remember very well is number 6, where we've got the word mean. Find the mean of those numbers. The way to find the mean, it's the average. The mean, same as the average. So what you need to do is add those numbers together first of all to get a total, and then you divide that by the number of numbers that you had. So there are 4 numbers there, so you're going to add them all up, get your total, and then divide your answer by 4 to find the mean. Good luck with your questions today, and the answers will be on the next page. So here are the answers to your questions today. Hope you got on all right with those, including number 6, which I gave you a little clue with. If you look at number 8, in case that one puzzled you a little bit, remember that if you use BIDMAS, you have to start with your multiplying and do that before you do your subtraction. So you need to do the 4 times 9 first, and then you do 7. Take away your answer to 4 times 9, hence you had a negative number as your answer. Hope that went okay today, and now we're going to go on to the main part of the maths. Okay, so for your main lesson today we're going to do some problem solving. The problem solving lesson today, there's a really super video for you to watch. Now the video is on this website here. So I need you to go to that website. Now there's a chance that by clicking on there you will get to it, but it may well not work and you may have to type that address yourself into Google to get there. Now when you get there you'll see a screen like I have printed here, and then I need you to go here for summer term week 2. I want you to click on there and there'll be some lessons that drop down, and when they do I want you to choose lesson 3 please, and you're going to watch the video for the problem solving lesson. It's really good video, and then the work that is on the website, I've actually put it onto the next pages for you so you can see it there. Okay, so when you've dropped down, this is what you should see. We need you to go to lesson 3 and watch that video. It's about 11 minutes long, really good video. There's lots of bar modelling on it and it shows you exactly how to do things. The activities, they show up on the video, so you can pause that one and do them from there, or they're on the next page here, whichever you prefer. So here is your activity. As you saw in the video, you can use bar models and little pictures to help you solve it. That's a really good idea. Good luck with those. And here are your next 2 problems to solve. Again, please use the bar models and pictures to help you. And here are the answers to your problem solving. They were shown in detail on the video how to actually do those, so that's quite useful to watch. These were fairly tough today, so if you didn't quite get them, don't worry too much. Just I hope that you enjoyed watching the video and we're beginning to get the idea of how we can draw some bar models and some pictures to help us. That's your maths for today, and you're going to do some SPAG now with Miss Tucker. Bye for now.
Okay team, so because we're going to start looking at present tense, that means we're going to be handling some words that have got the ing suffix. So what I would like you to do in a second is pause the video and convert all of these verbs by using the ing suffix. So you can apply the ing suffix on the end. Be aware that we have to do something else. We can't just stick it on the end, okay? There is another thing that has to happen, another spelling rule that has to occur for each of these words. So take your time. Does it look right? Have a try. Pause the video and restart it when you're ready for me to show you how they would look. Okay, so if we start with panic, if we are adding ing to a word, then we have to, if we're adding ing to a word, sorry, that ends in a C, then we have to add a K as well. So panic, the verb itself ends with a C, but panicking has got a K in there as well. So we have to add the K before the ing. Travel will become travelling. So we have to add a second L. We have to double the L on the end. If a word ends with an L, more than often than not, we are doubling that L, doubling that consonant before adding the ing. Same with a T. It's only got one T there, but two T's in admitting. We have to stress that consonant at the end, so we double it. So admit turns to admitting. Okay? And then when words end with an E, in most cases, we drop the E and add ing. So just a little review of those. It might be an idea to jot these rules down on a piece of paper and keep them next to you, because we're going to be converting a lot of words. So let's think about the different versions of the present tense. So like we did yesterday with the past tense, we're going to look at the simple, the progressive or continuous, and then the present tense. So we'll start with simple. So we tend to use the present simple tense when we're describing habits or rituals that occur on a daily basis, or to express a present state. So something that is continuing to happen and is like a state, or a feeling or an emotion. It's quite hard to explain this one, so I'll show you a couple of examples. So Lucy wants a dog. So the present state of Lucy is her wanting a dog. She wants one. She's not going to not want a dog one minute and then want a dog the next. She's going to continually want the dog. So Lucy wants a dog. The second example is describing a habit or a ritual. So each day, Miss Tucker walks her dog and feeds her horse. Now, a really easy way to remember the present tense, simple present tense, is have a look at what is the suffix on these words that are highlighted in bold. These are the simple present tense versions of those verbs. They have an S on the end, sometimes an ES, but it tends to be we add an S on the end or an ES for the simple present tense. That's a nice little rule to remember, because simple starts with S. Next up are continuous or progressive tense. So we know that these two words are interchangeable. It is continuing to happen. So these are the ones where we're going to have lots of ings on the end. It is progressing. The action is not yet completed. We have come in the middle of it. So it is continuing to happen around us speaking. So the fish is swimming in the pond. The fish is continuing to swim, otherwise it will sink or float. I don't know what happens to a fish if it stops swimming. Does it just stay there? This is something I will Google afterwards. So it is a continuous state, that it is continuing to happen. Tom is baking a lemon drizzle cake. Has Tom finished the lemon drizzle cake? No, because it is continuous or progressive tense. He is still baking it. It's still happening. Notice the ing and the is in front of the words. That's a really big giveaway. And we know our perfect tense means that it is perfectly completed. So It's strange to think about perfect tense when an action has been finished, but we're talking about the present tense. So it gets us in a little bit of a jumble. But how I think of it is the action has been completed and we are looking at the result of it. So I have painted the living room. But although we've got an ed on the end of these verbs, which makes us think past tense, we've got the word in front of have or sometimes has. So that makes us think, right, what are we focusing on? If it was I painted the living room, that would be simple past. But to make it present, we have got the word have in front of it. So I have painted the living room. What do you think would be on the end? Like, what do you think of my job? Have I done a good job? Probably not, because I'm not very good at painting. Same again for the second example. We've got the children have played for 2 hours. That word have changes it from past simple tense to present perfect tense. It is completed and we're thinking about the result of it. That's the tricky one in this one to get your head round. But you just need to look out for that have. So I have got 3 sentences. Can you pause the video and try and decide which one is simple, which one is progressive, and which one is perfect? Resume the video when you are ready for the answers. Okay, so let's have a look at the first one. They are baking a cake. Is that continuing to happen? Yes, it is. They are still doing it. They've not finished it. So that would be there. Why has that happened like that? Tell you what, we'll show the answers and then I'll talk through them. Right, so they are baking. That ing tells me that it's continuing to happen. So it is a continuous or progressing. It is progressing. The action is still happening. So it is progressive and continuous tense. Jill bakes a cake. I see that S. I see that S and I think simple. So she bakes a cake. When you hear simple present tense, it almost sounds simple in the sentence structure. Jill bakes a cake. It's not as eloquent as they are baking a cake or Jill has baked a cake. Okay. And if we look at the second one, they have baked a cake. That have modifies it all. That tells me that the action is finished, but we're thinking about the finished product of the cake. So the have means that it is present perfect tense. That have can also be swapped out for has. Okay, here are 3 questions to do with present tense. I would like you to pause the video, think back to the rules at the beginning that we talked about, see if they will help you. Resume the video when you are ready for the answers. Okay, so in this first question, we are being asked to look for the simple present tense. Remember, simple present, it's got an S at the front, so we need to be looking for a verb that has got S at the end of it. So have a look through those sentences. Which one has got S's on the end of the verbs? Yeah, that first one. So sobs and finishes. Remember, we've got an ES on finishes, but that's okay. The second one is has sobbed, so that is perfect. And is sobbing, he is continuing to sob, so that is continuous or progressive. The second question, we have to look for verbs that use simple present tense. So remember, simple present, we think about the S on the end, sometimes an ES. So brushes her teeth and puts on her uniform. Once again, simple present tense is used to describe a ritual. Okay, and then look at this last question. Which tenses are used in the sentence below? The fly has become trapped in the spider's web and is wriggling wildly to set itself free. So, has become trapped is the present perfect. It's already trapped, but we're talking about it still. It's already trapped, but it's in the net still, in the web still. Sorry, we're still talking about it in the web. So it has been trapped, but it is still in the web, so it is still present tense. Remember again that word have or has gives that away. And the second one is wiggling. The fly is still wiggling, so it is present progressive. It is progressing, it is continuous. Okay, guys, so these are two slightly trickier questions that you can have a go at. Take your time with these. It does require a little bit of thinking. So constantly think back in your head, what are those rules we just talked about? What's a quick way to spot simple, progressive, or perfect tense? Pause the video now and I'll give you the answers after. Okay, so let's look at that first sentence. So we're going to swap the sentence from present progressive, and we know it is present progressive because it says is, and we've got an ing on the end, and are and an ing on the end, and going is also an ing word, is instead of gone. So we now need to swap that to present perfect. So we need these actions to be completed. So it would look a little bit like this. Today it has snowed, but thankfully the clouds have moved away and the snow has gone. We really must think when we're thinking about present perfect that we need to be looking for the has and the haves before the verbs. That gives us a huge clue to present perfect tense. It tells us that the action is finished. So we can use that information, this little explanation up here about the haves and the has, to help us answer this second question. So let's look here. So Kelly has stayed. That has should be jumping out at you. That tells us that it is present perfect. So we know that one is present perfect. Which other verbs can we find? Kelly has stayed at Isabel's house after school, for they are attending. An ing word. So are they still going to Brownies? Yeah, they are. That means it is continuous, okay, or progressive. They are still going to Brownies, so it's still present and it is continuing to happen. Are can be interchanged for is. So if it was one person, she is attending Brownies, but because it's multiple people, we've used the plural, which is are. Okay, guys, there's an example of this in your PDF if you find it a little bit easier to read off there. I have got for you 8 different sentences, and I would like you to sort them according to their tense. So I'd like a column of simple, column of progressive, column of perfect. You can do this in your book. You can number them 1 to 8 across the top if you like, to make it easier and just save you having to write out full sentences, or you can do full sentences if you like. So take your time, have a think about those rules, look for the is or the ares, look for the haves or the has, look for those s's on the end, sort them into the columns, and then I'll go through the answers with you. Okay, here are the answers. Okay, guys, so here are the 3 columns as answers. Really, really well done if you got these right. It's a really tricky skill to be able to identify the different types of present tense within sentences. It takes a little bit to get your head around, but you have to be thinking about those rules of the is or the ares and the ings for progressive, the haves and the hases for the perfect, and the s or the es for the simple. They are the main rules to help you spot those, but really, really well done if you got those right. If you would like a little bit extra practice, or you found this really tricky, if you drop me an email, or if you turn to the BBC Bite Size page, if you like a bit of extra practice, there's loads and loads of present and past tense revision on BBC Bite Size. So that might be a really good place to look. But well done, guys. Good spag. Okay, team, so we're on to our week 2 of our English cycle. So just like in class, we've spent all of last week building up skills towards this purpose of writing, and now it is a big right kind of time for you to utilize those skills that we developed last week. So today I'm going to present to you a free choice right. So as long as it is an information text informing me about something or other, I'm happy to receive it. It can be on anything that you like. If you're really stuck on what to do it on, prehistoric animals are super interesting. I've done an example for you on a prehistoric big cat, and I found it really interesting to do the research, so that might be quite nice, and it links to our Stone Age topic, but it can be on anything you like in the world. You can present it in any way that you like, as long as it is written down, although an information video would be really cool to see. So if you want to do one of them, please do. If you want it to count towards your end of year writing grade, it does have to be written down there, which is a bit sad. But it can be written on the computer. You can use a document to do it. If you're going to do that, if you're going to do it on Word or Publisher or PowerPoint, pretty please, would you be able to export it before you send it? If you go to the File tab at the top and then go down to Export, it will then create a PDF, which is a little bit easier to send across, because sometimes when you send PowerPoints and Word documents, it moves all the writing out of place and it's a bit of a jumble at this end. So if you export it into a PDF, it freezes everything where it is and sends it across nice and neat. Or you can create a big double-page spread in your book with flaps and pop-ups and spinny bits and tabs that pull out, because I know you will love doing them. So you could do that as well. There are some examples in the PDF document that goes along with this video. So I found lots and lots of creative examples if you want to have a look at those for some inspiration. And there are lots of different topics. And you can spend as much time as you want on this. So although all the PDFs give you a suggested time for the day on whichever documents like in class, some of us work a little bit quicker, some of us need a little bit more time, and with everything that's going on in the world right now, some of us have got a little bit more time or a little bit more help than others. So don't feel that you need to spend 5 hours on this over the week. If you want to spend 5 hours on this over the week, you can do so. I'm not going to stop you. But if you have got maybe an hour and a half one afternoon and want to sit down and bosh one out, that's fine. If you want to spend a whole day on it, that's fine. If you want to spend half an hour because that's all you've got, that's absolutely fine. But any kind of writing would be really lovely to receive. I received lots of nice pieces last week and I really enjoyed them. So especially if you haven't sent me one, I'd love to see one from you. So I'm going to show you now the example that I created for you. I think you'll like it. No judgment on my very wonky faced cat though. So mine is a little pop-up. I'll show you in a second how to do it. Just a nice big colourful information text. The writing didn't take too long. Most of it was research and creating the pop-up. So if you would like to create a pop-up like that, you need to fold over a piece of paper and draw a headless animal on the paper. Then you need to cut that out, do the same for the head and the tail, and then colour it in. Again, a bit of a wonky face, but that's okay. Then what you need to do is attach the head to the body like so. I used a little bit of sticky tape because it was nice and flexible and would allow it to move. And then you just need to turn the feet out so you can stick them down. So I just taped my feet flat onto the book like that. And when you fold it, it all folds up nice and neatly, and you unfold it and it pops out like at the start of the video. So if you want to do one of them, you can do. If you want to do, I always think about when we think of creative presentations, I always think about that huge Titanic piece we did last year where I had a swivelly bit and a pull-out bit and a bit that comes out of an envelope, and there were flaps galore and bits of drawing and writing. You know, go nuts on it if you want to. If you just want to write down an information text, you can do that too. But the options are endless. So that is my task for you. Try and think about all the things we talked about last week. There is a copy of the Expanding Success Criteria on the PDF for you to refer to. Cram in as many techniques as you can and you feel comfortable using, and then I really look forward to reading them. I loved your text last week about the Stone Age. You all did a phenomenal job. Well done to all of you that sent those in. And so I'm looking forward to this week. Off you go, enjoy. And that is it for Wednesday, Year 6. You've done really, really well today. I'm very proud of you for sticking it out. Well done. Don't forget to shout. Oh, can't write. Don't forget to shout out your learning on Padlet. Lots of you are using that now, and it's nice to see. You can comment on people's posts. You can just give a little shout out and say hello to somebody. You can use that as your little board to write and to post pictures on. Again, if you want to do any extra bits, BBC Learning Bite Size is a really good website if you are desperate for a little bit more. I know a few of you have emailed and asked for extra bits here and there, so BBC Bite Size would be a really good place to go to for extras if Mrs. Perry and I are unavailable. Right, well done, and I will speak to you tomorrow.